Trying to think of some kind of noir narration I could do in the Pattinson voice, but I don't think I can pull that off.
So, Bruce Wayne.
You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
It's been a long night here at Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, and our voices are gravelly. So we're going to talk about the Batman. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Bruce Wayne. Seth.
So this big movie came out, right? The Batman.
Right.
2
out of 3 of us.
Did anyone get the Little Caesars Batman calzone?
Batman can fight crime, but only you can bring home the Batman calzone from Little Caesars with pizza and calzone crust. So you tell us, who's the real hero? Walk in and walk out with the Batman calzone and see the Batman in theaters March 4th.
Pizza.
I was surprised that he didn't get one.
Review of that.
I was surprised that he didn't get one in the movie. Like, there's so much product.
There was a billboard. There was a
should've.
billboard.
In the movie?
Yes, on a building, the side of a building, there was a giant Little Caesars billboard.
Oh my gosh.
God, I wonder how much that cost.
I knew it would be there. It cost the calzone promotion. So I got one when it first started. All right. Actually, I had gotten they did the calzone one time like
really
this summer.
Get one. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, so, this is for guys. Spoilers on the calzone.
The calzone. I'll give you
that calzone thing.
Actually,
check out now if you don't want to know.
There was some website a guy did a review, and it was really funny because it was like the calzone is just like Batman. It's like he puts his body through a lot of torture, you know. It's like it was a whole review of how the calzone is like a feat of strength you have to endure.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah. So I got the calzone when it first came out. You know, Little Caesars is always innovating. You know, this is not a paid sponsorship, but they are on the top of the pizza game. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, since Roman times.
They made a calzone, and it was pretty good. I liked it. And then I went back a few weeks later. I was like, I'll get another one of those calzones. Like,
pizza.
He's like, they're discontinued. I'm like, oh, I'll never get a calzone again. It was just a fond memory. Then comes the Batman calzone. It comes back shaped like a bat in some way, but somehow way greasier. The shaping somehow allowed the grease to pool in different places or something. So I got a Batman calzone, and it pretty much did me in. I was sick the entire next day.
I was gonna say that does not sound appetizing.
No, it was horrible. I could still smell it. I could still smell it in my car. I got in my car the next day from driving home. I can still smell it. It smelled. My whole house smelled like it.
Wow.
It was bad. It made me sick.
Wow. Sounds like you had a prank pulled on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with the Batman calzone. But you know what? I don't give up, you guys.
You tried it again.
I did.
Oh my God. It didn't make me sick enough.
So the week Batman's coming out, I'm like, it's Batman. It's Batman weekend. I'm going to get another one of those. I'm getting back on the Bat horse.
It can't be that. I got a bad one. That
was my thought. So my thought was, if I only eat a tiny bit of it, you just got to sample. You can't, you can't go too deep into this. So I'll get breadsticks. I'll maybe the breadsticks will soak up some of the grease. All right. So I'll eat some breadsticks and a few little nibbles of the calzone, and then put it away. All right.
Put it away.
So I called. I was at Kroger, finished my shopping, called in an order because nothing is ever hot and ready anymore. The pandemic has thrown the whole system out of whack. Nothing is hot and ready. Ran into a friend of mine in the parking lot. So I stood and talked to him for 10, 15 minutes. So I knew my order had plenty of time to go through.
Right.
Across the street, go to Little Caesars. There's a woman ahead of me. She's picking up her order. They open up the little vault of pizza stuff, and I see a box and a breadstick, and I see a couple other boxes. There's only 2 things in the little oven. They pull out her order, and she's like, I ordered breadsticks. What? Yeah, I was supposed to get breadsticks? Oh, they put their heads together, problem solved. They grabbed the breadsticks from the bottom of the thing. I'm like, I know for a fact those are my breadsticks.
Mm-hmm.
They make this, they solve the one problem at a time.
And you are the last person that's going to say anything at that moment. I'd be like, nope.
And then she thought she had already paid, and she hadn't paid, so she had to go out to the
let some
car.
drunk lady come in and take your breadsticks.
She hadn't even put an order in. She's just like, I want breadsticks.
So she had to go out to her car to get her debit card, had to come back in. It was a whole process, plenty of time for more breadsticks. So I get up there, I say, order for low. What was the order again? Low? What did you order? Batman thing and a breadstick. Oh, so later when I get the box, the name on it was Moral. M-O-R-L. So apparently on the phone when I said low, he wrote down Moral.
Well, like, of course.
So yeah, that's
common name.
So
they're like, yes, my buddy Moral. They're like, what's Moral gonna get here?
Did he order
breadsticks are getting cold. I'll just she's bitching. Just give her Moral's breadsticks.
So literally, there's only one thing on the shelf, and he's like, and he goes, "It's gonna be another couple minutes on your pizza," which I had ordered literally 25 minutes ago. There was plenty of time for the pizza, I knew something was up. So it was only a few more minutes. I saw more breadsticks come out of the back, and then I didn't see another pizza come out of the back, but I did see more breadsticks. So Little Caesars lied to my face, and I'm here to tell on them. But this one,
that'll do it, guys.
Bad. It was just as greasy, but I was more under control. I took better care to not get sick. That's
discipline. When I get sick on some kind of food,
I usually try and avoid it again.
I just go scarf it down again and throw up. But no, you took your time.
I can't let food beat me. I'm gonna master it.
That's
I don't want that to be
that's what will say on your tombstone. Say he mastered the bat calzone. He did not let it defeat him. He lies here.
Yeah.
Having won.
That couldn't be my last memory. That bad memory couldn't be my last memory. Because I love Little Caesars and I love Batman, and I couldn't let them hurt me.
Well.
So then I went to see the movie.
When that light hits the sky, it's not just a call, it's a warning.
From your secret friend, who, having a clue. Let's play a game, just me and you. This is a powder keg. And brothers to match. I'm just here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city. I've been trying to reach you. How am I part of this? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Selena, don't throw your life away.
I can take care of myself.
You need a friend of yours? I'm not so sure.
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
I'm vengeance.
If you are justice, please do not lie.
Mr. Wayne.
What is the price for your blind eye?
So, yeah, I met you for you were gonna go see it. I was like, well, I had, just to be fully transparent, I watched it twice. I saw it Thursday, the night before opening day, and then I saw it Monday with you.
Yeah, I had thought all week, like, maybe I'll go Thursday night, forgetting we had played a patron trivia game.
Yeah.
So I had other plans on Thursday, but yeah, you can also get in on those trivia games by joining our Patreon.
Yeah. So I would say I watched it twice, and I know for a fact Jordan watched it once, and we both times for me and Jordan made it also. All 3 hours of the movie, no pee break. We made it through.
You've got to master yourself, just like Batman.
Yeah.
You master
You gotta
mind,
clog everything
body,
up
and
with
spirit.
the calzone, and you don't have to go anywhere. It's like you're just sludge inside. Anyway, what'd you think of it?
So this is Matt Reeves, the director,
Hmm.
who directed Cloverfield, Let Me In, the horror movie, both Dawn and War of and for the Planet of the Apes, the pilot for Felicity. So this guy knows what he's doing. And he made a dark, gritty detective noir 3-hour epic crime story. It didn't feel very superhero-y. It felt, I don't know, it felt like something else. Something that DC has always tried to be the gray. The Zack Snyder movies are all gray and colorless. But there's still some spark of action and excitement and superheroism. This tried to stamp all that out. It's just he was a gritty noir detective, but instead of a fedora, he wore a cape and a cowl.
Yeah, it is what the joke was, the meme was that it was just grittier. Every version we get gets more and more gritty, but I was so amazed at just to get to see him walk in a room with side by side with the police. Yes, he's weirding them out, but he's got Jim Gordon with him, so vouching for him. But he is there in his batsuit in the room, detectiving, and that was all I ever wanted. Like, this is the type of Batman I like, where he is like, on ground level, doing the work, figuring things out. He's the world's greatest detective, so that was amazing to me. It worked. It worked. And the score that was built with that, just everything had that vibe that I liked. I saw it twice because the first time I just almost lost the plot at one point. I was so entrenched in how it looked, how it felt, how aesthetically, how everything was, that I was like, I need to see this again just to remember exactly what was going on. And the beats come at you like this. There's no fat on it, so everything's plot. And if you miss a beat, you would lose the thread. And go ahead.
There's definitely a lot going on. We're throwing 3 villains into the mix: Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler. It deals with the Waynes past, the Arkhams, the Elliots, the Maronis, the Falcones. Like, there's a lot of Gotham architecture behind all this, and who knew who and who betrayed who and who owed who a favor, that kind of deal, of any good twisty noir kind of story. But yeah, knowing some of the Batman mythology certainly helps. If you didn't know any of these people or things, I can't imagine quite needing a second viewing maybe to figure it out.
Yeah, it totally was. I loved getting to see those characters, though, having read Year One and all that stuff with those characters. It was great to see them, and I thought they were depicted so well. Just everyone was great in this. Like, I was blown away by, for instance, Catwoman. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer's always been like the iconic Catwoman, but this was amazing. Zoe Kravitz was just perfect as Catwoman to me. Like, everything she did, perfect. She was great. Everything about her. This movie is super horny. Like, there's nothing happening, but their chemistry was so good when they fight. The first time they meet, and a guard comes to the room. First off, he slams her down on the table and is on top of her, And then somebody comes in the room and he has to pull her around to the side and is holding her in front of him, his hand over her mouth, and they're breathing in unison. Like it's all purposeful. Like it is sexy as hell. Just like I loved that stuff. And they were, it was just, that kind of stuff was perfect. I don't know how you could improve on it. Like it was so good. Jim, go on.
I was just gonna say we're early in Batman's career, so this is a young Bruce Wayne. He isn't, all broken and jaded quite yet, but he's still got a lot of scars and things. So.
Oh, he is completely messed up. Like this movie, it does the opposite of what we've seen. So many, everyone's becoming a hero. It's always a superhero origin story, and this is like the opposite to me as we go through it. But we're going to spoil this, so if you have not seen the Batman and want to check out, you're welcome to. Cliff, if you want to leave and just let us record, yeah, that's fine. But I want to talk about it. There isn't anything that you'll see the movie and I forgot all the stuff we said, but it's just I liked everything about all these characters. Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon was great, and he tried to give it some realism to he doesn't know it's Bruce Wayne. He instead of calling him Batman, he has to address him somehow. So it's just like, come on, man. He's like, man, it's not Batman, it's man. And he's like, I love their relationship. There's silly things. There's so like when he's trying to get him. He's like, I need to go talk to him in the other room at the police station. Takes a minute. He's like, you need to get out of here. There's just something about the way he said it. I was like, this is your plan. But I love it. They always meet up there at where the bat signal is. Like that's all straight, always their history of doing that. But it's used so much in this movie as a meeting place for characters, and I thought that was well done. Hell, the bat signal as a character is incredible in this. The transformation it takes, striking fear into the hearts of men through the whole beginning. And
that opening was so effective of the myth of Batman. The power of Batman is making you afraid, and to make a criminal think twice. He can't be everywhere. It's like that's never been done better outside the pages of a comic book.
Yeah, he did. There was a voiceover, Robert Pattinson talking over that, explaining that, and that was, like you said, he can't be everywhere. So they put that signal in the sky, and they think I'm everywhere. That was awesome. The Penguin, Colin Farrell. Like I hated the idea of this. I wanted to complain about justice for fat people and ugly people, and why does this guy that's good looking get to play the fat guy part? But
it's just more Hollywood fat washing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, what the heck? There's a bunch of fat people out there. Like, I thought I was finally going to get to act.
I mean, if you're going to be Robert De Niro in a movie, just cast the Robert De Niro. Yeah.
But he was great. I thought he was great. Like, he's going to have his own show. Everybody thought he was so good. And I couldn't find any fault with that character. Paul Dano as the Riddler. I wish I didn't know it was going to be him, but it's impossible to not know stuff. But his face is covered up, TBK, the whole time. But again, a real world thing, a real world duplicatable outfit. That whole concept was so well done. We're used to a very ridiculous Riddler as all we've ever seen. How
are you gonna mess with the Batmans with a carefully crafted query? No, I think Paul Dano is a great actor, but the Riddler did nothing for me. I didn't like the voice he did. The QAnon incel version of an internet troll of posting cryptic things on the internet. I get what you're trying to say, but I didn't like the reveal. The Riddler I don't know. I don't think I wanted Jim Carrey in a unitard, but this wasn't. I think it swung way too far the other way, and this is the fatal flaw of this movie for me, is just the Riddler didn't work for me.
Oh, I thought there was things I didn't like about it in first viewing. Like I thought he was a little over the top when he was singing and stuff, and that. But the second time it worked for me, because I understood his plan better. I liked how he considered Batman his working with him. They were both in costume, and that he had his whole plan from the start went off without a hitch as far as he's concerned. He got Batman to figure it out and he got himself arrested after he'd set his followers out to dress up like him and go up very 1/6 style, even though this was written before then, but it's almost like he could see it coming. The masses being drawn in by some troll online, and getting them to go do something, an attack, and he gets to draw Batman in to come see him, and essentially his intention is for them both to be safe while all of this goes down. And I love that. But I see criticisms in him. I thought he was a little over the top at times for trying to be real and not, but it worked for me.
I don't know, just to me, everyone else was so great. Andy Serkis was only on screen for 2 scenes or so, and he brought it. Jeffrey Wright was amazing. Catwoman was a wonderful portrayal of that character. Penguin was a great twist on that, but just something, centering this around Riddler, to me, it fell flat.
And again, the score was great. Michael Giacchino. I thought that was so awesome.
And the use of the Nirvana.
Yeah.
Something in the way.
Plays 2 or 3 times through that, and when it did, it was effective. Just like that, all that was good. The bat suit was great. Robert Pattinson was a good Batman. This is the best suit I've seen. But he was more mobile. The way they had the cape, he could turn his head the best. He didn't go too far with the gravelly voice like Christian Bale.
I hated Christian Bale.
I hated it. I hated Christian Bale's voice.
The voice,
the look, and the voice.
Yeah, it was terrible.
This is the best. So I thought the best so far before this. I just feel like it's improved mostly always.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Batfleck looked great.
Yeah,
this is an improvement on that. Even I think this is a little better than that.
And I feel like none of us were cynical going in of like, what Twilight guy? Like,
no,
I feel like we've seen, he's made a lot.
We
of
saw Good
movies.
Time. We saw,
so
we watched those type of things. So.
I know I was open minded, and he definitely impressed me for sure.
I love the emo-ness to him, where he takes them out, so he's still got the makeup around his eyes and stuff.
But yeah, that's the idea. Is a lot of these movies, it's a whole lot of Bruce and only a little bit of Bat. This movie is all Bat. There is almost no Bruce Wayne, and there's none of the. I'm going to a cocktail party and a tuxedo. Like, there's nothing like that. He doesn't put on that Playboy affect. No. And so this is early in his career. He's still in that, focused mode of he is Batman 24/7.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
I liked, if there was too much of that emo Bruce, I probably would have stopped liking it. But I liked him so much as Batman. I was on board with him for sure. Him and his loud clumpy boots every time he enters a room. You hear him coming.
Slowly, clomp. That's what I thought. That's what I was going to say. The oppositeness of it is because he's great. He's doing the detective stuff, and I loved all that. But yes, this is like a year 2 version of him. He even says that on his journal. It's like, it's not a beginning, but it's right after that. He's, this is how he works. But he hasn't figured out yet. He is vengeance. Like, you get that in the trailer. I'm vengeance, and he tells them that all the time. They call him vengeance, and it's all that until he finds out these guys call themselves vengeance. They're vengeance too. These these mob of QAnon type people. And it's like, and it just that realization in him, like, we can't all be vengeance, and it's such that duality to what's going on in our world, like, so at each other, but this stuff, it's like he's like, I got to be hope, and I was like, wait, we gonna have to put one of them funny S's on your chest. First thing I thought, but the whole concept of him being Batman this whole movie and barely being Bruce was like this. He's doing the opposite, because he gets called out multiple times. The mayor or incumbent mayor says, your family used to give money and you don't do anything for this town. And in his mind, Batman is what he's doing. He's doing that. And she's like, you don't do any of that for this town. And Catwoman is calling him out, like saying, yeah, we do. We're not the same. You grew up rich and you're just playing around, and Riddler's like, oh, Bruce Wayne's an orphan, but he doesn't know what an orphan is, where you sleep 4 to a bed and stuff. And it's like, there's no way that this next movie isn't him realizing the power and good he can do as Bruce Wayne. He's going to become Bruce Wayne and do these things to improve the city, because vengeance isn't working.
Right. That was definitely a smart way to get at that central problem with the character that's been around since the beginning, but is only more recently, being spotlighted of, he's a rich 1%er who beats up mentally ill people. And it's like, is that the best way to stem the tide of crime? So it doesn't, he still beats up plenty of people, but it's like that it at least asks the questions of like, is there more you could be doing?
Yeah, I just think, maybe it starts out with that bat signal and giving fear, and maybe by the next movie, people are hopeful when they see it and think, what he's doing good for the city. When he leads those people out, it's, from the trailer, even with that flare, and they all like crowd after him like zombies almost. It's just like, that is such an epic shot. Just to be clear, I love this freaking movie. I would watch it again right now, if it wasn't snowing in the middle of the night. But I loved it. I think there's no fat on it. The John Turturro, didn't even mention him. I thought he was going to be a bit nothing, and he was great. He was so good. The only complaint I think I have there is, because the story we're getting, okay, this person's exposition telling you this amount of information. He gets a little information here, a little information here. Okay. Oh, my dad might have been bad, done this. But oh wait, it was this. And we get that too fast. Like, he doesn't get to think his parents are bad for very long before Alfred's telling him otherwise. And I'm like, okay, we didn't get to, but I'm sure it was just because the movie's 3 hours long and they had to cut some stuff out of it. I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm in a weird place. I have a hard time articulating my problem, but like, I can't say anything was wrong with it. I think it was exceptionally well made, well acted, well written, well designed. Like, everything about it was great, but it just didn't do it for me. I didn't love it. I didn't get engaged with it. And I don't know if part of that is, growing up, you as a comic fan, a nerd, you wanted this stuff to be taken seriously. You wanted so badly for other people to see what you saw in these characters and to appreciate them. And, it's not just kid stuff. It's really great. And now I feel like it's gone so far the other way, where it is humorless and serious and ultra, like, part of me does want to see Jim Carrey dance around. Like, he's a guy in a cape fighting crime.
Well,
like,
for the guy that hates the 66 Batman,
but
make up your mind.
I don't know, but like, I'm not saying that definitely wouldn't have improved the movie. I don't know what this movie could have done better, but I didn't love it. I don't understand why. It's just something about it. Like, this wasn't what I needed.
I guess I'm surprised that you end up kind of negative on it, but I do see the criticism of the villain, because I think Catwoman's perfect. I think all that stuff perfect. The only thing I think is weak is the villain as being, like you're saying, too real world. And like that's that one step that is too real world. And I can feel that as something taking the fun out of it. But other than that, I don't have a problem with it. It's my favorite Batman movie now. Like this is definitely my favorite Batman movie. And I've rewatched several of them this week to see if I really meant that. And I gotta tell you that 89 Batman is still good. Still good stuff.
I was trying to think of my ranking, and I think Dark Knight is still my number one. I think what Heath Ledger did in that movie, that's his movie.
It's great.
And it does the same thing with some real world issues, but without being quite so blatant about it. And I still think the 89 movie would be ahead of this one. So this is probably my third, I would say, if I had to rank it at this point.
I get it.
So I think I only laughed one time, and it wasn't even a joke line, but he says, "You've got a lot of cats." Because it sounded like Jim Carrey and Cable Guy, that line. I never thought they'd get it clean after what happened in here. What happened? They had a lot of cats.
That's funny. I feel like there was more funny stuff. Well, what, you don't think the thumb drive's funny? The penguin was funny.
Yeah, the car chase was great. The action was good. Like, I love this brutal version of a Batman who isn't flipping around and doing kung fu. Like, he walks up to you, punches you as hard as he can, as many times as it takes for you to fall down, and moves on to the next guy. Like, it is a very Street Fighter, like, tough version of Batman. And that's like very Frank Miller kind of feel to it. And I loved all that. There's there's very little I can say negative about this movie. I don't know.
I thought it was hilarious when they had the penguin tied up and he's tied around his feet, and then when they leave him there, he has to waddle out. You know? I'm like, that was perfect because he can't walk. The first time I watched it, my biggest and I told you after we saw it, I saw it the second time that I had created a fix in my head for it, but that there is a riddle in it that they keep returning to for quite some time in the movie, and it's the most obvious answer. What it is, like, you can't believe they answer it real quick, so almost in hopes that the audience doesn't figure out the riddle. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, rat with wings, and they try to come up with all these different answers, and at one point I was like, it's so obvious, and it kind of bugged me. And then I said what I equated it to was, they can be stupid enough, he can be stupid enough to not get this, because they're all stupid enough to be walking around with him and not know who the heck it is. It's like, it's the Clark Kent scenario, it's like you guys can look right, and this is the most face we've got from a Batman. Anyway, it's wider on the cheeks and stuff. Like, anybody who knew Bruce Wayne should have recognized this guy. But still, I don't know. It's very, very good to me. Like, I really loved it even more the second time, and love the soundtrack. I can't wait to, buy it and listen to it. I was very happy with it. If there's a movie at the end of the year, if I have a different number one, I will have had a good movie year. So,
okay.
I wasn't expecting it either. This was not the movie that I from the previews, I thought, oh, this looks gritty and cool, but I'm betting I don't like it, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I think that's what we said, that this was just kind of bonus Batman. Like, if it happens to be good, that's a bonus. But none of us had anything right.
Oh man, yeah, I watched it. I think here's what I'll say. I think I want to watch it a third time because I want to see if at the end he turns left instead. I want I want this time him to do something different than he does at the end of this. It's just them riding motorcycles and side by side, cape flowing in the wind and I can't believe how much I loved that and needed it. Like, that was so cool looking.
Yeah, I definitely want Zoe Kravitz back. Like, I don't want villains are always one movie, then they leave. Like, I want to see more development for her and their relationship, definitely.
Yeah.
Although I did notice John Turturro as Falcone, he had scars on his cheek early in the movie before he ever met Catwoman.
Yeah.
And in the comic, she's the one who gave him these scars that get his identifying look. So it was comic accurate, but it was weird that he already had scars on his face before that scene.
Yeah, that seems odd.
So, yeah, I'm not quite sure why the choice for makeup was there. But
that seems like a mistake. Well, that's pretty much about all I got to say about it. I loved it. I hope. I'm curious what other people think of it, because I've seen some here or there. I've seen a lot of most other people like I listened to like loved it. But the common man, I've heard both versions.
Well, if you believe this, the fan community is divided at times.
I know what.
Go figure.
Oh, there will be another one because it made a bunch of money in it, and
yeah, I saw that.
It's getting great reviews. So in general, so we will get another Matt Reeves Batman, and I'm happy about that. So
I'll take it.
Well, that's it. I think we did it. We just get this out there so people can hear what we think about it and go see it or not.
So that is our Bat episode for The Batman. And we'll be back shortly
Same
with a
Bat
countdown.
channel?
So, yeah, you got it. We're going to do a countdown that you've been waiting on for a long time. Our favorite comic book covers. They are coming your way with a special guest.
Woo!
So check us out then. We'll see you then. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
What's up? Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, join our Patreon at patreon.com/udownwithkpp for special content and access to Patreon-only benefits. We are grateful for anyone who chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will remain free. So please continue to like, comment, and share.